We're back with episode 9. I hope you guys had a happy holidays and a happy new year. It's 2020, Cody.
2020, can't believe it.
If you want to be on the next episode of Rate My Build, remember that we give out a free spot or maybe even 5 free spots for this next episode every single video, so pay attention to what we say right now. All you got to do is leave a comment on this video. What build did you submit that you want us to look at, and your gamer tag so we can find you. And then get your friends, your family, your peers to share the video, come to it, and upvote your comment. We're gonna take the 5 most upvoted comments. So if you haven't submitted a build but you wanna see a certain build rated, just click that thumbs up button on someone's comment. We'll look at it probably by next Wednesday. We'll probably record the next episode, episode 10. So if you want a chance at getting on the next episode, because we have over 700 submissions.
That's a lot. I think we're going to hit 1,000 like we talked about here pretty soon.
Sure.
We have our first guest judges other than me on an episode. We have Tillhouse and Lakerfan, both outstanding guest judges. You guys voted for both of these guys to be in an episode, so we are so happy to bring this one to you all. Some low ratings, some high ratings, some good builds, some bad builds, but a lot of fun hanging out with these 2K influencers. So super excited to share with you guys what we filmed. And also, we have another special episode of Rate My Build upcoming. Should we go ahead and tell them what it is?
Go ahead. A little best of.
Yeah, we're going to do the best of. We saw some feedback in the comments. Best of Rate My Build in 2019. So of these last 8 episodes, we're going to pick the top 5 builds. Spence is going to cut it together and send it out so you guys can see the top 5 builds so far.
All right, man. You want to throw it to yourself again?
Let's do it. I'll throw it to myself. We'll see our guys Till and Laker and Nate call. It's a fun episode. We'll catch you guys after. All right, guys, we have our first 2 ever guest judges here on episode 9 of Rate My Build. First, we got my man Tillhouse. Tillhouse, tell all of our fans and viewers who you are, what you're about, and where you're from.
What's good, 2K community and Pacer Nation? It's your boy Till here, and I'm a gaming content creator, and I also do 2K content, so I want you to tune into that whenever you get a chance. But after this video, I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, so I'm a big Thunder fan, and hey, I'm excited to rate you guys' build today.
Awesome. We're going to cut out that Thunder part. Everything else was great. We're going to cut out the Thunder.
That's fair. That's fair.
And unfortunately, our other guest judge here, I have to say the name. It's Laker. What's up, Laker fan? Let the people know what you're all about.
Yeah, so speaking of the fandom, I've been a fan since 2009. I hopped on the bandwagon, you know what I'm saying, but been here through the rough years. But anyway, no, I just make 2K content as well. I'm mostly on the slasher type stuff as well, so I kind of rep the community in that way. And I do like little mixtapes. I play on the stage as well, actually, with that. And I was on the Team Pro-Am stuff a little bit. I had the #1 team on Xbox, but that was also from like 3v3 Pro-Am. Featured in there as well, so you know how that goes.
So good.
So anyway,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, we're happy to have both of you guys on. We asked in one of our videos to leave names down in the comments of who people wanted to have on the show, and you guys were the top 2, so we had to bring you on here. So we're excited, and thank you guys so much for hanging out for sure.
That is a good look.
Is there?
Cool.
Thank you.
And Nate, as always, good to have our pro player.
How you doing?
Nate Call is hanging out, and we're gonna waste no time here. We're gonna jump straight into the first build. It's fish_fillet. It's a center 7'3" max wingspan, 99.7 overall, big body at 280. Plays park and rec. Says he uses jump shot 38, can make the open middies, unlocks big man contact dunks. His role is to protect this house. He's all about boards, blocks, pick and roll, and averages 13, 12, and 5 in the rec. So, Till, I'm going to throw it to you first. What do you think about our guy, Fish Fillet?
So off the rip, of course, I like his description. He said he's there to protect this house, and I'm all about the 2-way players in this thing. So when it comes to just looking at his attributes, of course, I automatically look at the fact that he has 99 interior defense with a 98 block and a high level of defensive and offensive rebounding. I'm just complimenting at the moment. it does seem like it's going to be more of a half-court build. He definitely needs a team around him that's going to be able to slow the pace down in order to play with this build. But outside of that, man, if he's on anybody that's possibly 6'11" or under, man, this is a mismatch nightmare for most bigs if he's going to just strictly stay inside. And that's just from my perspective.
What about you, Laker? I know you said you like slashers, so is this big body too much down low for you?
Absolutely not. So maybe in Pro-Am, it may be a different story because even with Pogo Stick, okay, so Hall of Fame Pogo Stick, that, in my opinion, completely changes the game as an undersized big. The hands up into your defense is horrible, but with the jumps, I feel like it completely changes the game. But in Team Pro-Am, you definitely rack up a lot more fouls doing so. But I don't think you're ever going to see in Rec or Team Pro-Am kind of a problem to be going against a 7'3" big. I feel like the speed will kind of be a big problem. I will say, as far as 2v2, I think this build is pretty tight. But then even at that, with a fast big on the backside, it may be tough for your guard to even get open, because if an undersized good defender, say a 6'8" pure lock or something like that, is on the backside, he may be able to even cover both people up and still get back to the rim by the time you even get to the hoop. So I think it's a good post-scoring build possibly, but as far as pick and roll, I would say I'm not too big a fan, but it could be solid as long as you have the right stick.
Okay. Nate, what about the neck tattoo first before we go here? He's also wearing a Lakers jersey.
We're starting with the tattoos. I haven't even looked. What is it? Is it a star?
He's got
Help
the
me out.
star neck tat here with the sleeve. What do you think there? Not bad?
Not bad. I don't judge, man. I like it. It looks a little bit like, what is he, like Carlos Boozer maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
little Boozer.
Facts.
There we go.
Fact.
Let's jump into badges though, Nate. Talk to me about finishing badges.
Yeah, let's jump into badges. So he has Hoff back down, Hoff drop step, or Hoff contact. Gold putback, bronze pro touch and consistent, and then silver fancy. I would probably I don't know how I feel about Hoff back down Punisher. I probably would throw it on pick and roller, I would say. Probably put Hoff, pick and roller, maybe gold if you want to save an extra badge. I also don't know how much you're going to be using contact finisher, although, I mean, he's 7'3", so he's going to be finishing at a high percentage at the rim regardless. I'm fine with the fancy footwork. I actually have had like teammates in the past that are on center, and when they get the ball, they want to be aggressive. They want to make a play with it. So that's fine if you get hop steps into the paint and stuff. So I'm fine with that. But yeah, I would probably, the biggest thing I would do is I would get rid of back down Punisher, and I would switch it to pick and roller just off first glance.
Okay. Till or Laker, any thoughts on these?
I guess I would say kind of agree with what Nate's saying there, as far as if he says he's trying to be more of a pick and roll type guy. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, even with 99 strength too, back down Punisher Hall of Fame, probably not going to be the biggest deal. Plus, I feel like in general, post scoring this year is mostly kind of ran with hooks and fades rather than power, drop steps, and aggression kind of. Because like I said, with the pogo stick, that stuff can really just cancel out any drop step and standing dunks in general, in my opinion. But yeah, I can just swing it over to Till with that.
Yeah, so as far as the Hall of Fame back down Punisher, I agree with Nate on that. I probably wouldn't have it that high, but I do like the Hall of Fame drop stepper, and I would probably add to pick and roller, especially if that is going to be his goal in a 5-out setting or a 5v5 setting. But as far as this badge loadout, it makes me wonder if he set this up before he sent it over while he was playing Park, you know? Because we don't know if this, I don't know if this is like what he would take into a 5v5 setting, because this just doesn't seem optimum for that situation. But as far as what we're looking at though, I like the contact finisher and the drop stepper. He can do some serious work as a back down player, true inside scorer.
All great points. And if we
one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
One more thing to note. I think he should find one thing in his defensive badges to bump down and just go to Hall of Fame D leader instead of gold. I feel like that's a big big transition from gold to Hall of Fame if there's any badge, just because of all the percentages you can see with Hall of Fame on instead of gold. That's
Agreed.
just one small little note to mention.
100%. That's a great point. And what we've said and what we've seen, with our friends at NBA 2K Lab, if you're going to use defensive leader, go Hoff or don't go at all. That's where that badge is. So we're on board with you there, Laker, 100%. If we go back to shooting real quick, slippery off ball, that makes me think that he probably is in the pick and roll. Otherwise, I don't see the need for it. You guys with that? If he's in pick and roll,
I actually use that myself with my slasher playing pick and roll as well. I think it's a pretty nice impact, especially if you're only going to have one shooting badge as an inside big man. No hurt there.
That's true. Or if he wants to hit his free throws, go with Ice and Vein.
Ooh, there it is. There it is.
I see he's only got like 36, 38 3-pointer or something like that too. So I mean, no need to have something like bronze quick draw or something. If that were around maybe like say 58 or so, then I would say probably quick draw. He could knock down a couple open threes off a good dimer or something like that too. But
good point. All right, what about playmaking here, Nate? What do you see?
Yeah, so I think this is a pretty simple fix with the playmaking badges. I would say pulse spin technician and quick first step. I think you can leave that on gold, in my opinion. And then if you're playing park, I would personally do. I would leave on gold unpluckable, and then you can leave on gold needle threader if you want to drop it down to put on. Either bail out on bronze, possibly. He's not going to be passing out shots as much, but you can do that. You can even if you're really glitchy and you think you're just a pulse demon, you could throw it on Dream Shake. But and then if you're playing 5v5, I would leave on pulse spin technician, quick first step on gold. I would leave unpluckable on gold. Maybe drop it to silver, but I would try to get break starter on if you're playing rec or something like that.
Okay.
So if you're playing rec, put an emphasis on break starter. I think if you're playing park, you can sort of leave it the same. Maybe throw on bailout, but more or less it's pretty good.
Okay, Till.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with what you were saying, especially for a 5v5 setting, dropping unpluckable by one, because he probably won't have the ball as frequent as he thinks.
Yeah.
So he could take that down one, maybe needle threader down a few, and then put on break starter and bailout. Or if he wants to go pure dog and he wants to just like take bodies in the paint, he can put on that Dream Shake and just be a demon down low. So really, like you said, Nate, there's really not a lose-lose with this setup right now that I can just like point to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Laker, we're going to move on here. I'm going to give you the defensive rebounding all to yourself. You already talked about Pogo. Any other changes you would make here? Defensive leader as well.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely would. I feel like I would probably move the brick wall to Hall of Fame and defensive leader to Hall of Fame off rip. I think Intimidator could probably drop to like silver. Myself personally, I don't know how everybody else feels about this in the chat, but I feel like silver Intimidator is kind of the max level I've seen firsthand. I myself don't use any worm either, but that's because I'm like kind of the undersized big who kind of just like tries to fly around the box out. With this, I would maybe even suggest to go Hall of Fame worm, just at the fact that with lack of speed, you're probably going to be needing to kind of just fight your way through the box out rather than try to run around it. I would say, I don't know, it's tough because he has a good amount of defensive badges, but with a big so tall, you would love to have just more than this. I don't know personally myself how the 7-3 interior defense feels because I've never really been on it, but maybe he doesn't even need pogo stick because you could play good enough defense with hands up at that point. And then, I don't know, even Hall of Fame rim protector would be really nice because with how many blocks he's going to get, that takeover boost is beautiful with that Hall of Fame rim.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I would say that's about most of the changes I would make. So long story short, defensive leader and brick wall both going up would be nice. Maybe dropping pogo stick completely would be in his game, and then probably put those points toward the brick wall and D leader. I guess if he feels comfortable with the silver worm, he could just keep that as well. But yeah, and then drop the Intimidator to silver.
Sounds
put that
good.
into some other points.
I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. For time's sake, we're going to move on here and rate this build. Till, I'm going to throw it to you first. What would you like to give our man? Let me double check. It is fish fillet.
Fish fillet. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 9 out of 10. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because of how specific he said his role is in the description. Is that to protect this house? So he's gonna be grabbing boards, getting blocks, pick and roll. And the one reason that I didn't give him a 10, obviously, there's no perfect build, but he didn't have pick and roller on at all for his finishing badges. And I feel like if you're going to be doing the pick and roll, you might as well go ahead and just add that little bit of juice to your build and make yourself even more of a threat.
Perfect. Okay, Laker, what about you?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. My subs know me well. If any of y'all are watching this video from the Pacers Gaming channel, I'm the biggest 7-3 hater in the community. So I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I don't know. I mean, I like that he's got the finishing and defensive split. But I'm gonna go ahead and give him like a 3.
Oh, good gravy.
I'm not a big fan of the 7-3s. I feel like it just doesn't really fit into many game modes anymore.
All right.
But,
coming out spicy. We talked about it pre-show here.
Hey, real spicy.
That's part of it, though. Everybody has their own preference. So we got a 9, we got a 3. Nate, what about you?
That might be the biggest gap.
I think so. I think so.
Since the inception of the show.
Yeah. Where would you like to go here, Nate?
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I like the attributes a lot. I actually don't think he could have done much better with them. I'm going to agree with Laker a little bit. I'm not a fan of the 7-3. I don't think it's meta. I don't think it's necessarily the best build. I still like that 6'10", 6'11", even in park and rec to be able to swing a little bit more. I don't like the fact that he has the glass grand badge. I would have personally went rim protector. And then I think his badges do need some work. Obviously, Laker talked about the defensive ones. I could probably go over it too, but I think that they need some pretty good work, defensive badges. The playmaking that's fine, and the finishing is not that bad, which is why I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Good deal. 10 out of 10 for the neck tattoo, my man, though. Thanks for submitting that build. Love it. Next up, we have Boston Strong 407. This is our shooting guard build. 6'5", minimum wingspan, 98 overall, 175 pounds. He plays rec and pro-am, so no park. He said, shout out to my boy Wolf. Not on the show this week, unfortunately, but we'll let him know. He's a corner build. Wolf made him love playing off-ball D. He plays with 98 jump shot, plays as a pure sharp secondary ball handler, plays the hash, running off screens, doing wraps, and on D, he plays in the corner with his 2 locks playing up top. So first, Laker, I'm going to throw this one to you. What do you think about this shooting guard?
Cool. Well, I like the fact that he's kind of embracing the, I won't say secondary ball handler, so much to say, more like a, the wing wrap guy, sort of. But I do like, he still has 81 ball control with floor general that could get you about to where you need to go as a secondary ball handler. And he'll stretch that pick and roll out a lot with the 99 3-pointer. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at the shooting badges yet, but okay, yeah, he has 30. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I assume he doesn't have very great defense. Yeah, okay, so he has 1 badge. But if he is good with that build in the corner defense, I'm a big fan. I would say, yeah, I like this build so much, pretty much. But if there were one knock on it, I'd say probably just the fact that he is not a perfect fit for that secondary ball handler. But like I said, if he's willing to embrace the fact that he could do more so like off-ball movements on the offense, and then if he could play good defense in the corner, I love it.
Awesome. Nate, anything from you on the build overall?
Yeah, so I would say that 100%, I just don't think that this build can be it can be a great corner build, but you don't need this much attributes in your shooting or your badge setup for it to be just a corner build. So I think he's got to be on the wing, and go ahead.
And sorry to clarify, I think I messed up. He said he plays corner on defense, but he is on the hash. on
Oh, and he
offense.
sits on the hash and
Yes,
offense.
that's
Okay,
on me.
all right,
Yep.
Cool. No, okay, that's good. So if he's playing on the hash on offense, that's great because he has a lot of shooting badges. He has 98 3-point shot, which is amazing. I think the thing that's going to make or break this build is what he can do with the ball in his hands, because he's going to be really good without the ball already. He explains that, and the badge setup says he's going to be that. So I think if he can put the ball on the ground and he can be aggressive and stuff like that, that's going to either make or break this build, I would say.
Good deal. Till, let's jump into badges here. I'll start with finishing. What do you think about his setup?
So as far as the finishing, in comparison to his ratings, being that he doesn't have a high driving dunk, but he has an insanely high close shot and post hook, it makes me think he's finishing with a little more finesse at the rim, more so than trying to go up with strength. I'm not a fan of consistent finisher being that high. I would still have contact finisher on, even if you don't have a high driving dunk or even a standing dunk. Acrobat, that does tell me that he's probably using a lot of Euro steps, a lot of hop steps, and he's just going up with a smooth lay along with slithery finisher. So from what he's working with and what he's telling me, I mean, I would at least have on contact finisher, at least on silver, and probably drop consistent. I'm just not a believer in consistent that much, but if he trusts it, go for it. But yeah.
What don't you like about it? Because I agree with you. I just want to know what your reasoning is.
I just think with how 2K is built this year, obviously I've seen very lates go in, very earlies go in, and consistent finisher is just not necessary in the scheme of, like, if you already have contact finisher or even giant slayer, I feel like you could have something better.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
That's the main thing. I think you could just have another better badge versus.
I think especially with this guy who's, he's not a primary ball handler. It's not like he's going to be attacking the rim 20, 25 times a game. So I agree that I don't think you need that quite as much as maybe a slashing playmaker would at point guard. Maybe you could make an argument, that's fine. But not with this build. I agree.
Yeah, I'd sort of like to chime in on that a little bit. I feel like if there's one thing he could do with this, especially for the 5v5 aspect, if he could kind of drop his finishing. Although if that's in his game, that's awesome. But if I were him playing with something like this, I would definitely say dropping the finishing and putting it more into defense for badge reasons. I think that'd be super beneficial for him, because like Nate was saying, I don't really think you're going to see too many times where he's headed to the hoop, especially if you got 30 shooting badges with 99 three-pointer. I would love to see him just moving around the perimeter or just spacing it out really well from that wing, one of the two, and just have him have more defense rather than finishing.
Shooting lights out.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
He better not miss. He better not miss.
Not with no 98.
He better not miss.
And speaking of shooting, I've already gone to our shooting badges here. He's got the diamond that we always talk about, the Deadeye, Green Machine, Quick Draw, Hot Zone. Laker, what else do you think about these badges? He's got difficult shots on and hot start. Haven't seen that badge in a while.
Specifically, I feel like he doesn't need catch and shoot as high, but like I said, if that's sort of in his game, from what I've seen from 2K Labs, I don't think from what they've said, I don't think you need any higher than silver. Other than that, maybe if he gets a lot of shots up because they involve him a lot, maybe some volume shooter.
I would love that.
Yeah, but I like the range extender, quick draw. Like you said, that top right corner of his shooting badge just dominates. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, aside from that, if he likes to move around a lot too, maybe some, like, at least bronze on slippery off ball, but I don't know. I mean, as a perimeter player, I feel like comp wise, not many people see that as something needed, but who knows, with 30 shooting badges, maybe you find a way to put a little bit of slippery in there.
Exactly.
Especially if you're moving.
That's what I was going to say. When you have 30, you can get what you need and then really choose what works best for your game. So great point. Till, anything else you see here?
So with the shooting specifically, with a 98-3, it sounds like he's going to get up a ton of shots. I would drop hot start completely. I'm not a believer in it just because of how specific the badge is, but I would put volume shooter up, because with this setup, with difficult shots, hot zone hunter, this guy sounds like he's going to put up a plethora of shots at will. So he might as well have the boost with volume shooter. And even if he drops catch and shoot by a few, like Laker said, put it on corner specialists or even deep fades maybe. That way he could, if he is fading into the corner or taking those shots when he's just going crazy from the 3 line, he might as well just have those added boost.
I'm with you there. And Nate, we're going to say that you agree with Laker and Till, and we're going to go straight to playmaking. So you have no say on shooting there. We're moving on. Nate, he's got silver bailout. What else do you like or not like on this?
That we can keep rolling on. I like it. No. So what does he have? I mean, so I don't. Okay, so stop and go and space creator, I've heard, have been controversial playmaking badges. I'm not a dribble head. I'm not going to pretend to be, but if I had to give my opinion on what I think he should do, I would drop bailout by bronze. That gives you 1 badge point. Keep needle threader, keep quick first step, keep unpluckable, pass fake maestro, take that off.
Throw in rice, move on.
Throw it in the garbage.
So at that point you have 2 badges left. I would take off space creator. For me personally, maybe you could leave it on silver or bronze if you really wanted to. Again, I don't know the specificities of how well that badge works depending on what you like to do. But I would probably try to get on tight handles on silver gold. Now, with that being said, I know he only has, I think, 81 ball handling. So I don't know how
sharp takeover.
Right,
so
with a sharp take. Right. So you could argue that. But I would still like it on, and then you maybe try to get handles for days on too. But I don't know how much this guy is dribbling. That's where we talk about play style. So he has the setup where he's a uber aggressive shooter, which is great. So if he's very rarely without the ball in his hands, the setup is pretty good. But that's what I would do if you're going to have the ball in your hands a little bit more.
Okay. All right, it was quiet on that one, so we're moving on to defensive badges. Laker or Till, he's got Intimidator on. Would you guys change that? Or does it really matter if he's playing out of the corner? What do you guys think?
Well, I see he's got 33 defensive rebounding as well. I was going to say maybe he could use bronze box if he's playing that corner spot. But I don't know.
No. Yes, that's what he should use. He should use bronze.
Okay.
Maybe clamps, but no, I think he should use bronze box.
Yeah, I doubt he's ever going to step anywhere near the wing on 5v5 Pro-Am defense. I'd say, so yeah, probably box. I mean, I know a lot of guys in the corner, they like to use a little bit of off-ball pest too, but obviously he has 1 badge to use. So, yeah, like Nate's saying, probably just bronze box, simple as that.
Okay. Till, you down with box?
Box, or if there is a lot of transition situations, I will go chase down. But, I mean, since he only has 1, honestly, box, especially if he's specifically playing that corner, I think it's the perfect what you can get, you know?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Chase Song's not bad, though. Chase Song's not bad.
Yeah, real quick, and then we can transition. I know we're kind of in a rush. But like I said earlier, I think if he literally just went from the finishing and put those badge points and what he used into defense, I think it would just be a beautiful build. And maybe even a little bit less playmaking. But yeah, if he just had more defensive badges, I would love it for him. And who knows, maybe he's really good with this stuff in the corner, just stick-wise. But yeah.
Good deal. All right, we're going to go ahead and rate him. Laker, we're going to go to you first. This guy isn't 7'3", so I expect at least a 5 from you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say, I don't really see this in, well, there are pure sharps in comp Pro-Am. There definitely are. Not all the time, though. But what I will say, the way he has his badges allocated, I would maybe give him a knock for that, but I do like the pure sharp build. I'll go ahead and give it 7.5 or an 8.
Okay. Which one? I don't want to cheat you here.
8. I'll be generous. We'll go 8.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, Nate, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 6.5 out of 10. My reasoning is pretty simple. He's not nearly as good defensively as I think you need to have in rec or Pro-Am playing the corner. Wolf talks about it all the time. the elite of the elites, you know, you want to be Beatty in that corner, or even if you're just playing even more so recreational or, you know, just intermediate level, you still want to have defense. And I think that this lacks a lot. I know he says he has 2 locks up top and they're probably swinging and making plays. And I'm sure he's a good defender, but I'd like to see his defense a little bit higher. And then the only other little knack I have on it is I think his shooting might be a little bit too high. I would maybe, if you'd have dropped that, and that could have gave you an opportunity to put some more into defense or even ball handling, playmaking, to give you a chance to make some more plays with the ball in your hands. With that, you know, just to wrap it up, I don't mind his badge layout for the most part. I think it's pretty fine from top to bottom. So 6.5 out of 10.
Till?
Yeah, so for me, I'm a true two-way player. I believe in two-way players, and I just don't believe that his shooting should be that high. I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10, just because he did say that he's going to play that corner, but with minimum wingspan already, he's hindered. He doesn't have the steal rating in order to jump those passes. He doesn't have interceptor, and like I said, I don't have any footage of this guy showing his ability to play the corner. But from my perspective, his shooting is just a little too OP for me. I don't think it's necessary, especially if you're going to be playing in those modes. You should be skilled enough to shoot with over 80 overall 3-ball. But yeah, so I'm going to stick with that 6.5 out of 10.
Next up, we have Ghost Hunt 3R98. This is a power forward, 6'7", wingspan up 2 from default, 97 overall, 251 on the weight, plays park, rec, and pro-am. He said this is a switch defending lob threat type build, guards 1 through 5. With how his badges are set up, he shoots around 40% from the 3-point line. Says he plays like Draymond or Rodman. So Laker, I heard you get excited once you saw this build. Talk to me. What do you think?
Okay, so big thing for me is it mainly depends on what his play style is. He spoke on his defensive, but I would love to know what he does on offense. That's my big thing. I see he doesn't have brick wall, so I'm assuming that means he's a corner spot up on offense and just provides a lot of defense, as you can see the 30 defensive badges. I guess my opinion has quickly changed a little bit because I love to see these undersized builds as a screen setter, because I feel like it's so tough for the bigs on the backside to keep up with. It forces switches a lot, or it literally forces these bigs to just guard the corner, and obviously that's not what you want from them in the first place. But I love to see these builds like this utilized as a screen setter, and I see he doesn't. So that does change my opinion a little bit. But what he provides on the defense, that is nice to have. I am here to say, like, I think there's not a lot of room for this in the team pro-am stuff, where you don't see many people with a lot of defensive badges. So they have to kind of tailor their badges in a specific way to guard a certain area. When you can be versatile, it is really, really big time. But I won't get into the details of his badges yet. I know we can get to that in a minute. But yeah, just overview of the build. I like it a little bit. I just wish his play style was more clarified, I guess.
Sure, makes sense. Till, what about you?
So when he said that he shoots 40% from 3 with a 52 rating, I am absolutely impressed. With that, I like that he has the rim protector takeover, and just looking at the attributes, he's an absolute demon on the defensive end, obviously. But at 6'7", that is a hindrance. But with the build, I don't know the play style on the offensive end. I mean, 40% from 3, I see that he does have corner specialists, so that's interesting. And he's apparently hitting his shots, which is good. So this guy, it sounds like he knows what he's doing with the build, and he's probably maximizing it to the best of his ability. I do like that he's up 2 from default on his wingspan, so he's definitely getting a lot of passing lane steals. He's probably plucking the ball out of people's hands as well. So this guy's he's the definition of somebody who's going to change the tide of the game on defense with steals, blocks, rebounds, contest, whatever the situation may be as far as a 5v5 or even a park situation.
For sure. I'm on board with that. Nate, what do you think about his finishing badges? He has 11 to work with here.
Yeah, so contact, lob city, putback boss, pro touch. I would knock down putback boss by 1. and then take off Pro Touch, put on Fancy on gold, and then I would leave Contact. If you want to change Lob City and go Giant Slayer, maybe.
That's what I was going to say. Gotta have it, I think.
I think you probably got to do that. And then I would leave it at that. Yeah.
So
do you think you could use like Bronze Relentless or something like that too? I feel like that'd be a decent one to kind of throw in there.
You could go Bronze Relentless. Here's my only thing with Relentless is that he's not going to be like
a point guard fatigue.
Exactly. He's not going to be super fatigued. So, but you could put it on and it could work out really well. He could go up 8 times that game and you're like, holy crap, like I'm glad I had Relentless on. But me personally, I want to get the most out of that Fancy, especially because he's going to be guarding, if not the pick and roll, the top. If he's guarding the corner with this build, I don't like this build. So I think he either needs to be guarding the pick and roll action or at the top, and he's going to be on the break a lot. So that could lead into Fancy opportunities for Fancy footwork. So
one thing here for me. Giant Slayer, if you haven't seen the 2K Lab video yet, go check it out. We saw that 6 inches and above of discrepancy. So if this guy's playing against a 7'2", a 7'3", and he has Hall of Fame or even Gold Giant Slayer, that's going to make a difference in his finishing around the rim. That percentage, I don't know top of mind, but it's almost 15 to 20%
it's
increase.
wild. I saw it firsthand too.
Yes, so I would definitely consider this for any undersized bigs to definitely take a look at that video and look at Giant Slayer. Laker, we're going to move on here to shooting badges. He has 3. What do you think?
Cool. If he's comfortable with the shot timing with no quick draw, then big props to him. I feel like from what I've seen firsthand with my build that has like 54 3-pointer and 1 shooting badge, the 1 shooting badge that I wanted to put on, if it's not slippery, because I'm just not looking to shoot. If I am looking to shoot, I definitely wanted the bronze quick draw. If he's comfortable with this timing though, I know silver catch and shoot and bronze corner are big time as far as being able to hit. There's a lot of dudes in stage and stuff like that too that bring a pure lock with 4 defensive badges and can hit with that. Now in Pro-Am it's tough because you can get baited a lot easier with the lack of shooting ability and shooting badges. But for what it's worth and what he has here, I like it for the 3 badges he has.
Perfect. Nate, what about his playmaking? He's got break starter on. Bailout?
I mean, you gotta go bailout. Okay, here's the only bailout or downhill. Honestly, I wouldn't have break starter on them.
I agree. Bronze bailout is by far the best 1 point you put into a playmaking badge. I agree.
Till, you on board with that too?
I'm on board with it.
All right, sounds good. Till, I'll let you take this last category. We have all 30 badges here to work with in defense and rebounding. Looks like, again, he's playing bingo here, trying to figure out some way to connect 4. What do you think?
So he's pretty much doing whatever he wants with defensive badges. Obviously, we know about Intimidator. And as far as him being undersized, and LakerFan mentioned this earlier, I would put Pogo Stick at least on silver. Because being at 6'7", it's going to be just a problem trying to contest against somebody who's 6'10", 6'11", or even any of the 7-footers out there. I like that he has post move lockdown, so he's ready to go against any true post scorer, moving truck. He's not going to get bullied. But I'm surprised that he doesn't have on brick wall. That's the one thing that's surprising with this build, being a 6'7" player, because you would think he would dominate there and then roll to the basket. But outside of that, clamps. He's defending 1 through 4. So as far as the setup, he's prepared to be an all-around defensive player. But and as far as Laker mentioned earlier with another build, I will probably drop Worm as well, because he should have the ability to move out of those situations to get the boards anytime he wants to. So he could put that, maybe drop, post move, lockdown, or Intimidator by 2, and then put on defensive leader on Hoff and go from there. And so, yeah, man, that's my breakdown of it so far.
Love it. Laker, any thoughts from you besides brick wall there?
I would like to transition and ask Nate a question with this too, and we can make this quick. But I feel like with a build like this, it also depends. So like, let's say he's a backside defender, right, in the pick and roll. It really depends what his front side defender is too, because if he's going for versatility, then what good is versatility if the point guard that's defending ball isn't versatile too?
True.
You know, because if the point guard can't switch on to the big, it doesn't even matter if he can switch on to the PG. It's still going to be a problem. So I would say his defensive ability mainly depends on what his kind of partner in the pick and roll D is, in my opinion.
It's a great point.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. And the one thing I would add there, Laker, you're spot on, and you said it at the very beginning of this build. Versatility is great, but if you're making a build for a specific purpose, you need to roll with that purpose. If he's an undersized 4, he should be setting the screens and taking advantage of that part of his build. And especially when you get into 5-on-5 and you're thinking about team metas, you're going to have a specific role and you need to dominate at that role because you've got 4 other high-level players around you. So that's just my 2 cents. Good build overall. Can't wait to see what you guys rate it. Nate, we're going to go with you first.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, pure lock, you know, it's essentially a pure lock, right? That's essentially what it is. Yeah. I think the knock for it on me is this build could go to an 8.5 or to a 9 if he's greening consistently from the corner. We always talk about you need to be a consistent shooter. I don't care whether you're playing rec, pro-am, park, comp, pro-am, whatever you're playing, you need to be consistent. So if he's able to green with silver catch and shoot and bronze corner specialist on offense, that, you know, this could be a really, really good build. I do think, and I didn't get it, you know, Till obviously talked about it a little bit, but I think there's a lot of work that can be done with the defensive badge layout. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. So for those reasons, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, Till?
I'm going right there with him. Probably going 7.5 just because he's somewhat of a two-way player, being that he does have the ability. And he also has the speed as a power forward. He can outrun most of his matchups that he's going against with that 88, 86, or it's 88 speed. So with that, he's going to be a transition demon if his team allows him to run. I don't know the play style. Unfortunately, if they are more of a half-court team and he's sitting corner, I don't like this build. But if he is running up and down the floor, making stops, causing turnovers, and then getting a chance to score, hey, I love it with that 7.5 out of 10.
Perfect.
And the rim protector and takeover.
Yep.
And Cody, real quick before you go to Laker, because I know you said that you might want to get this in like actions on the pick and roll on offense. Is that what you were saying?
Sorry. Yes, potentially.
Potentially. Yep. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't think you get enough freeze with this build. So that's my, just going back to my reasoning about why I think he needs to be a good shooter in the corner. I don't know how much he can get going downhill in a pick and roll consistently against another 6'10", 6'11". Yeah.
Makes sense.
Just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
That's my
Good point. All right, Laker, what about you?
I'll go ahead and agree with them. I'll probably give it a 7. But what I will say, so in Pro-Am, it can be a bit more tough to be able to shoot with this type of layout as well as not having quick draw, because just not being able to get a shot off in a good amount of time, it's going to be a lot easier to play healthy off that corner for any cuts or anything like that. This will be the guy that they rotate off of to drop on rolls, cuts, etc. I will say if he can hit with this like consistently, like everybody else has said previously, this is a great build. I mean, especially as far as, did he say he only plays Pro-Am or? No, okay, he said he plays Park as well.
Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as Park, beautiful build. I feel like his badges could be laid out a bit differently, but man, I tell you what, those pure locks, when they can hit consistently from that corner, it is annoying. Like you're like, oh my God, this dude has 3 shooting badges and is still, we have to treat him like he's a two-way sharp. This is like ridiculous. And I've seen it firsthand. So I'll say Park build, I'll give it like a 8, 8.5 if his badges were laid out differently. But for Pro-Am, a bit tougher. But overall, I'll say like a 7.
We have One Love Bubba, another power forward, 6'11", so he's taller than the last guy, max wingspan, 99.9 overall, 215. He plays every game mode. And I'll let you guys read the description if there's anything. There's a lot.
I like it. Like he's going into detail about it.
He definitely is. So Till, I'll throw it to you first. Any overall thoughts on the build and his attributes?
So just taking a look at his description, I like that he's confident in his ability to play with this build. So off the rip, that gives me a boost to how I feel about him, because he's very confident in his ability. With his finishing, obviously it's an absolute monster down low. He does have the slasher takeover with it. So this dude in takeover is just somebody I don't want to be near the paint with. Then with the post fade, he can obviously hit you with a little bit of a move down there too. So this guy 6'11", it's solid. Of course, I would prefer if he had some three-point shooting, but he did say he can shoot a little bit with a 52 3 ball. So it just depends on if I ever saw footage of him playing. But the defense is where it's lacking for me, especially to be a power forward, 6'11", 77 interior defense. I feel like a lot of people could get away with some easy buckets on him, but yeah, that's what I'm feeling so far looking at this build.
Okay, Laker, what do you think? And then we'll hit Nate.
Yeah, I feel you on that a bit, Till. The thing about this build, it looks like it could be real versatile as far as the finishing, but what I will say, at that height, I would love to have seen a bit higher post hook. That stuff is tough to deal with, especially with the pure finishers like that.
Yes.
I can see what he does mostly is going to be a lot of the hop step dunks. I can relate to that. My slasher is 6'9" and doesn't have much post hook either. But I will say one thing. I'm amazed at the fact that he has 8 playmaking and 8 shooting, but the result of that is to only have 7 defense. That's probably going to be the tough thing about this build. Plus, I can see his perimeter D, lateral quickness, steal, they're all like really low. So I can already imagine when put in 2-man pick and roll, pick and pop situations, he's literally just going to be, for the most part, camp and paint, and pick and pop is going to be a tough thing to deal with this build on the backside.
Nate?
So, okay, I'll be quick. I love the max wingspan. I love the height. I love the weight. I would have personally, instead of putting as much as he did into shooting and playmaking, win defense, so make it defense and finishing, essentially. And I think the biggest thing with this build is that he's going to be unbelievably offensively, right? So he's going to be amazing at attacking the rim. Anytime he gets going downhill, anytime he gets an opportunity to make a play like under the paint, pump fake, whatever, he's going to be great. It's just his defense that I question a little bit. I don't think with, what does he have, 77 interior defense?
Yeah.
When you're playing against, a 99.9 BP build, or not, 99.9 slashing playmaker build, and they're getting downhill every single play, it's going to be tough to get consistent stops. So those are my early thoughts, I would say, with this build.
Okay, and we know he's a great finisher. So, Till, talk to me about his finishing badges. Is this what you would have done?
So, as far as a big's perspective, I'm not too keen on this, but I wouldn't put back boss that high or relentless that high. I would definitely invest in, if he's going to be a big, he obviously has slithery, but I would try pick and roller as well, just because if he is going to be that slashing big,
Correct.
I would think he would want that boost going to the basket. I like the lobs. I would like the Lob City finisher a little bit higher as well. I don't know the 2K Labs meta on that, if it needs to be higher, but as far as complementing what his attributes are, pick and roller with Lob City finisher, and yeah, I would probably drop consistent as well with this build, and then just add to those areas.
Okay, Laker.
I think that's a perfect explanation. Perfect.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing as far as the lob finisher, because I personally use that on Hall of Fame at all times, playing as a screen setter as my finisher. But what I'm noticing is he doesn't have any brick wall. So my thought on that, if he can't force his matchup to step out and guard the perimeter on the picks, I would assume maybe he can. I'm just gonna say I don't think you could set good picks with no brick wall. So personally, I would definitely put that on gold. That is going to be how you live on offense if you don't have the ball in your hand, is setting good picks. because you got to get that big out the paint and force him to hedge too high where you can get the lob, or force the full switch where you can start just dominating the point guard or whatever matchup. But I will say, it looks like he can pick and pop too, because he got gold range extender and silver catch and shoot. He's got a lot of shooting badges. This is a mismatch nightmare. It's just the defense is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to figure out.
Okay. Nate, any thoughts on shooting here?
Yeah. Honestly, not really. Oh, well, okay. I guess I wouldn't have range extender on gold with 52 shooting.
Yeah, that might be tough. Who knows?
I'd probably try to do take that off completely, put on silver corner, and then. But see, he's gonna be downhill every time, so maybe not. Probably do. It's tough, man. Maybe green machine, honestly.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
It's tough because he's in the. I'm pretty sure he's in the pick and roll mostly every play.
See, I thought that too, but his brick wall is like horrible though. I just can't really figure out what he's doing too much.
Yeah, so he's in the pick and roll every play. His shooting is only a 52. I know he says he can hit, which I believe. So if this is his layout, and if he's hitting with this layout, leave it. Otherwise, I would switch range extender for a green machine probably.
Okay. The one thing I will say, I just noticed he said, let me find it here. You'd be surprised I shoot well from the corner, especially with a point guard with Dimer. So
so if that's the case, then yeah, range extender he could drop for sure.
Yep, and maybe go to corner specialist probably.
Yeah,
maybe. I guess for this build, I want this build in my pick and roll like 95% of the time. I don't want you in the corner, but again, that's his play style. So to play towards that, maybe go corner specialist.
Perfect. What about playmaking here, Till?
So playmaking, you know something, Nate? What would you go with? Because with the 6'11", I'm thinking I like the bailout. I do like downhill. I like downhill, being that he is a slashing big.
Yeah, me personally, I would. So I'm good with quick first step. That's fine. If you want to have bronze unpluckable, that's fine. I'd probably drop bailout 1 to bronze. I think you get, sort of the best bang for your buck. Or, no pun intended, Cody. But you get the best bang for your buck with bronze bailout. And then I think I might drop downhill by 1, 2, and then I think I might put on silver break starters. Probably what I would do.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah. And Laker, I know you love Lob City. If he's playing in the pick and roll, would you go Lob City here? Or excuse me, that's finishing. I'm incorrect there. Any changes for you though?
Are you saying like playmaking wise?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were kind of trying to transition into the whole like no brick wall thing, but
we can do that too. You do you.
Okay,
right
so
here.
I'll be real quick on the playmaking, and then is it cool if I transition to
Of course, please do.
Okay, so for 3v3. Downhill, I would love to see high, but on 2v2, obviously you can just take it out your arsenal completely. The thing I don't like about this build, I personally have a small forward that has 7 playmaking, and on 2v2, it's really easy to like find badges to use because I get things like Space Creator. It's super fun to use with like normal 14 hop jumper. You can just literally like make people stumble for no reason at all. But definitely, I would even say he could just drop unpluckable completely and go downhill. I like the bailout maybe where it is. I've never even used it on silver, but anyway, I guess, yeah, let's go to the defense then. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, cool. So first and foremost, as an undersized big, I feel like rebound chaser is not complete necessary. It's nice to have, but when you only have 7 badge points like this guy does, you can drop that easy. I only use either bronze or none at all with my 6'9" finisher. And it allows me to put a lot more badge points into places I'd like to go with. The vertical makes it very easy to just kind of leave that badge in the past, or at least on bronze. Same with box. I don't think you need it too high. I would love to see him just literally drop rebound chaser to bronze, rebound chaser off completely and just put all those points into brick wall. I feel like he just needs brick wall, point blank, and simple as that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Till?
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah.
So, like, I agree with what you're saying. It makes me think he's not just maximizing his build. I know his play style may be different, but he even has 83 post moves. And I know that's probably not by choice, but he doesn't have drop stepper, back down punisher, or even post spin technician, even for the opportunity, let's say if he gets a mismatch when he's playing Park.
True.
And he can just dominate with that 83 post move. And of course, not having brick wall, I have to ask you both something. Do bigs necessarily need Intimidator? Because he has a 77 interior defense. I feel like he needs Intimidator.
Man, it's tough. It's tough to figure out with what he has.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I feel like Pogo Stick is literally like the end-all, be-all of interior defense. You can literally just change the game by having that, but he doesn't have enough points to put into it. So it's just it's tough, man. You need as a big, you need at least, if you're gonna be a non-defensive one, I feel like you need at least like 10 to 12 defense. Definitely, ideally, you need way more than that, but at least 10 to 12. And he could have that with this build for sure.
All right, speaking of what he could have, what rating are you going to give him, Laker?
Well, I like the way that this build kind of fits into my mold a bit, and it's cool that he has the shooting to his game too. If he uses this properly, and I'm just gonna give the rest of the grades, assuming that people use these builds to their best ability. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'd give him an 8, or no, I'm gonna go 7.5. 7.5. Just at the fact that I don't know how well this fits into Pro-Am. And I see that's some part of what he uses. As a Park build, I love it though. To be able to shoot, have playmaking, and the crazy finishing. He's just a walking bucket, really. But yeah, for Park, it's nice, but everything put in total, I'll say 7.
Good deal. Nate?
I'm gonna go 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the build. I just think too much finishing, not enough of everything else.
Okay. Simple enough. Till, what about you?
I'll go in the middle with 6.5 out of 10. I agree. The finishing, I love it. So for his play style, like in the slashing takeover, I just feel like he didn't maximize the opportunities with this build. Not having Lob City on Hall of Fame, pick and roller, no brick wall at all. I'm just going off what I'm seeing and not his play style. With the setup, it just, he isn't maximizing what the build can do, especially off of pick and roll. But yeah, I'll go 6.5 out of 10.
All right, last but not least, we have our point guard in this episode. It's Dan Yet. Shout out to my guy, Daniel. Thanks for submitting your build, my man. Point guard, 6'1", minimum wingspan, 97 overall, 167 pounds. He plays rec, pro-am, and my career. Uses 38. Also not sure if gold contact finisher or fancy footwork would be perfect or better for his build. So, Nate, I'm going to throw this one to you first. What do you think about this offensive threat?
Yep, so a couple things you got to notice. First of all, so he's going min wingspan, which is good. Seems like that's around min weight.
Uh-oh. Did Nate crash?
Yeah. I think he did.
Uh-oh. All right. We're going to keep it rolling. Sorry about this.
Right, no
Till,
problem.
take it and run. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Okay.
He's back.
Wait, I was like, wait, I crashed?
You crashed for a second there, but you're back.
I'm here.
So,
Am I
yeah,
good?
start that over. Yeah, start that over.
All right. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. All right. So I'm back, everybody. All right. So we're going min wingspan. I like it a lot. At 167 weight, I think that's the minimum weight. You can go around the minimum weight. It's not on the higher end. I'm not in love with him being 6'1", just off rip.
Agreed.
I think that's a little bit too short, in my opinion. And then just quickly the attributes. He can shoot the heck out of the ball. Clearly he can dribble. He can, he's going to be able to speed boost really well. He can finish decently. And then his defense actually isn't terrible for, the layout. So I actually do like his pie chart, and I like his attribute allocation so far.
And he's wearing a Pacers jersey, so that's automatically gotta go up here. Yeah,
it's going up. I just don't love the height. That's it. Outside of that, everything is good so far.
Sure. And I got to look at the second picture. He's got the Mad Ants shirt on. That's our G League team with the Pacer sweats. Love it. Well done, Daniel. But Till, any thoughts here?
Of course, I like to represent the two-way fam. I'm not a big fan of 6'1" with the defensive stats because he's still a little bit too slow at 6'1" to try to stay in front of true guards that can handle the rock in comparison to a play shot or a slashing playmaker. Any of those builds that he goes against, they're going to give him nightmares. But as far as the shooting, he's going to be able to be at lights out. If he can handle the ball effectively, especially with the shot creator takeover, just by looking at the attributes, if he can spam that behind the back and get a little bit of space, and I think his jump shot was 38, he has to get that thing off pretty quick. He should be able to at least score.
Okay. Laker, I'm going to throw it to you for finishing here. He has 6. What do you think?
Cool. Well, I guess first of all, my biggest concern with the finishing is it's either you need, I would dang near say you either need none at all with this build or like more. I would say between the finishing and defense, I would like to see him pick one. Now, if he has no defense at 6'1", that's just going to be a nightmare. But being 6'1" with defense is already sort of still a nightmare. But for the most part, I would say I like this build from like a park or like stage 3v3 standpoint. But this build has no place on the 2v2 at all, unless you just hope that you never give the ball up. Like Nate was saying, I think he said BP builds, stuff like that, or even like two-way slashing playmakers, that's going to give so many problems in an ISO set where like, and even if he switches onto a big, obviously he's going to get completely bullied. So really, literally with this build, it's either you're in the 3v3 and hoping that they have somebody who literally just sits corner and you don't have to play any defense, but that's kind of a stretch. You just hope for that. And other than that, sorry, I guess I actually didn't go with the finishing. Somebody else can.
You're good.
Somebody else can take the baton on that.
Okay.
Actually.
Till, finishing, or Nate, either one.
Okay, yeah. So with the finishing, I do believe that if you only have 6, I kind of look at this from the aspect of you need to maximize what you have. I would go silver, silver, bronze if necessary, or silver, silver, silver. I think that's the right layout, right? Two. Yeah. So I will go contact, possibly fancy, especially being at 6'1", and then potentially slithery. I just trust that layout a little bit more, but I don't know how that would react with a 6'1" build. But as far as finishing, I would just drop things to silver, but that's just my perspective on it.
You know, I have one thing too that I forgot to mention. Giant Slayer at 6'1" might actually be like amazing to have. Who knows? I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
Like you could have literally a decent regular sized point guard matched up on you, and it's literally still like your own matchup is still gonna like be activating that badge for the most part at like a 4 to 5 inch height difference or something. But,
spot on. Great point. Great point. All right, Nate, let's take a look at shooting badges here.
I think it's simple. You just swap difficult shots with Green Machine, and that's it.
There you go.
Yep.
Get that diamond.
That's
good.
Diamond.
All right. Well done, Daniel. Just swap those out. Laker, what about playmaking? He has 19 to work with here.
So playmaking. I would say, you know, a lot of the guards I play with, they're a big fan of Needle Threader. I myself, I don't know personally. I feel like I would like to see. For the most part, it depends who he's playing with. If it's on threes and he's playing with like, let's say like a 2-ball handler set, he might need floor general. But I'm just gonna assume that he's like the only point guard, because if you're running a build like this, I would hope you're not splitting touches. You
exactly.
can't be having defense like this. Let's see. He's got Dimer. I would say I like that. Tight handles. I don't know. I mean, for the most part, he's got everything that you would think you need. A lot of guards like to use that unpluckable on Hall of Fame, though. Some people think it's a complete myth, though. But I don't know. I would maybe suggest to drop the Needle Threader a bit and just go into unpluckable and handles for days, straight up.
And I just wanted to drop a nugget too real quick. So I think, because I used to think the same thing with unpluckable, and I think the the opposite of it is like pickpocket. There's a lot of locks who kind of think pickpocket can be a myth. I used to be one of those guys. No lie. I used to think that like no point to have it on. I think if you play against a lock with like 94, 95 steal and you have on bronze or no unpluckable, you are going to get plucked. Like if I'm playing against a point guard with my Hoff pickpocket 95 steals plus a steals boost, like it's I'm telling you, it's wraps. So I think he needs to put that unpluckable up a little bit.
Yeah, facts.
Something else with the playmaking, I would just chime in. If you're gonna run, this is my perspective and play style. If you're gonna have Dimer on, I believe you would just eliminate Dimer and just go floor general. In 2K20, I'm not a fan of Dimer per se, but with the opportunity to boost all of my teammates' offensive stats, I would go with floor general instead of Dimer.
Feel you.
That's my perspective.
Yeah, that's a tough one to figure out ever, honestly. Like what the Dimer boost essentially does.
It is a tough one.
Yeah, in comparison to floor general, like if Dimer is worth it. You're right. That's a tough one to figure out.
Also, one thing that could determine that as well is if he's playing 5v5, if another guy on his team already has floor general.
Yeah,
that's true.
You don't need it. Then you want that Dimer. But if he's playing with a secondary ball handler that's like, oh, dude, like I need floor general for, to be able to speed boost more efficiently.
Yep, like if he has 82 ball control or something.
Correct,
like that.
and you need that boost. So it's just like it's a situational thing, I think.
Those were good nuggets there, guys. I'm not going to lie. If our viewers are tuning in, take some notes because that's a great point. I'm glad you guys got deep into that one. All right, last but not least, defense and rebounding. Till, we'll start with you. Any changes here?
So he only has 5. With that, though, I would definitely have at 6'1", you're doing the best that you can. He doesn't have the attributes at 6'1", and he doesn't have the lateral quickness. I will go all in on clamps and intimidator, just because clamps give you the bump animations when you are in front. But with his attributes, good luck. You know what I mean? I think that's the main thing I can, as far as the batch layout.
Perfect. Laker, Nate, anything else there? Retweet.
Man, I'm going to say this. With a build like this, if you could possibly know who you're playing before you play them, that'd be perfect. Like if they just ISO and you could just take off pick dodger, put that all into clamps, that'd be a nice thing to be able to do. But then it's like if you hop on the 2s with this build and you're trying to run through picks, oh my God, I don't even want to imagine it. I mean, it's like this is just a problem defensively. Honestly, you could give this build 15. You could hit legend with this build, and it still probably won't be able to play that great of defense. Like you could have 15 defensive badges, and I just still think even with clamps, pick dodger. You could even screw that. Pogo stick's not even worth putting on this. 6'1", you're still not going to be able. 6'1", you're still not even going to be able to do anything with the interior defense.
That's a great point. Yep, it's tough. Only 5 badges, 6'1". You're going to get pushed around quite a bit no matter where you go here. All right, let's rate him. Nate, what do you think?
I was going to go 6.5. But he has the Pacers jersey on.
There we go.
So I'm gonna go 7.
Okay.
He's 6'1".
Yep.
That's tough. I like everything else. Switch the badges up a little bit. I like the attribute layout. I think it's more than fine. Shot creating, grand badge. I would have, if you could have done playmaking, I would have done that one. I know we didn't talk about it too much. I don't love the 6'1", but still really good layout and good attributes, so 7 out of 10.
Good jerseys as well. Laker, what about you?
Man, I just noticed something, and I was looking at the game modes that he says he plays, and apparently he doesn't even play any park.
Right.
That's wild. Yeah. So this build as a Pro-Am build, that's a no-go for me. I don't think he's safe in the corner, honestly, even at that, and he's never going to be able to guard ball. Rebounding wise, I mean, he's 6'1". He did upgrade his D board a little bit, but to what good is that? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a 5, honestly.
Okay.
If he's crazy on the offense with this and he only played park, and he could just hide in the corner and hope that they don't give that guy the ball, then I would say probably like an 8.5, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, defensively, just in team pro-am, that's tough. That's tough to deal with at 6'1".
Okay, Till?
Yeah, and from my perspective, I'm a believer of utility. Your build has to have utility. And the fact that he's 6'1" and he's not fast on the defensive end, he's just a liability on one whole side of the floor. And for me personally, it just doesn't sit well. But I would go with a 5 out of 10. And I know that's probably really harsh, but it's simply because he's 6'1".
Yep.
He doesn't have a high steal rating. He doesn't have high lateral or defense. And there's too many two-way slashing playmakers, play shots out there that can just literally torch this guy in any one-on-one setting. It's 5-out city. And so if he's an offensive demon, though, where he's hitting that behind the back and just lighten you up from 3, hey, it's good. That's the only reason I gave him the 5, though. I don't know how he looks on camera.
Sure. Great points. Well, as we wrap this up, guys, I just want to say thank you so much to Till. Thank you so much to LakersFan for coming on. We appreciate you guys. I know all of your fans and viewers are going to be psyched to watch this episode with you. And Nate as well, of course. Appreciate you, my guy. So Till, first, I want to give you the opportunity. Let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can watch your stuff.
So if you want to follow my content, guys, in the fam, make sure to find me on YouTube at TillHouse, TILL House all together. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that way you can be in the know of videos and whenever I drop. And also just talking basketball on Twitter at TillHouse_ as well. And hey guys, I definitely appreciate your support, and shout out to the Pacer Nation and also the 2K community for watching this video.
Appreciate you, man. Laker, what about you?
Cool. On Twitter at LakerFanYT, and on YouTube just LakerFan. And yeah, I mean, if you're into the park, not necessarily park, I don't even play park. I play just the stage and we're getting back into the team pro-am, and that'll be fun. But yeah, so just as far as the content, I make some mixtapes and stuff too with the slasher. But yeah, just some cool little stuff.
And we're Xbox guys, so for those out there that
I didn't know you were.
That's one of the few Xbox guys in the 2K community.
There we go.
We need 'em.
Xbox guys unite. That means all 4 of us are Xbox here, so we love it. We love it. All right, guys. Thanks again. We appreciate you both for hanging out.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Y'all take it easy.
This is the outro. Are they not going to have an outro?
We're outroing.
An outro of the outro?
We're outroing.
Yeah, we're just cutting.
So we will see him after.
Right, we will see him after, right?
Okay.
This is it.
Right
we
now.
just saw him, and now we're
We just
back.
recorded the intro, and now we're in the outro.
Yep,
Because we didn't do an outro for this one. So maybe this is the outro.
this is the outro.
Yeah.
Because we already outroed the outro over there
Yeah.
with TillHouse.
And they don't know where over there. Over there's the
Well, I'm going to
streaming
walk over
piece.
there
Yeah.
and film another episode.
Of what?
I can't tell him that with Wolf and Swizz.
Oh yeah. Hey, stay tuned.